There we go, much better. So I've already got the water going for the mac and cheese and the lasagna. Not a problem, sir, not a problem. We're gonna see if the bot shouts out everybody or if it just shouts out who's in my list. Cause I don't remember putting you in there, but if it shouts out everybody, that just means I need to make a tweak, so, it's all right. So how have you been? Mac and cheese, I need butter, flour, evap, milk. I am live. I got family at home today. I got kids roaming the house. All day editing. I'm guessing that was for at least like 3 or 4 videos, right? Not just one. Butter. They're fine, just leave them here. Just leave them here. They're fine. Yes. I've got kids running around, it's okay. You can...
You're gonna babysit your children live on whatever this is?
Be careful. Oh, one of those videos. Okay, I'll have to make sure I go watch that one. Those are the good ones when you switch games. 11:10. Because they should be there already. Drink that apple juice. Chug it. It's fine. It's good for you. Chug it. I will take care of putting them in the trash later. That's where I'm just putting them for now so that I can throw them away later. And here comes the 16-year-old walking by. That's... Close the door.
Say hi, 'cause you're
Close
so
the door
cute,
back.
you're cute little 16-year-old.
Go. Close the door back. Macy, calm down. Y'all said stuff too long and waited too long. And there go the kids leaving because the oldest child has to go to work. He's Red Dirt, Farming Sim, and Farmer's Life. Interesting. A Red Dead, Farming Sim, and Farmer's Life. Okay, that's going to be interesting for sure. That is going to be very interesting. I've just been playing my zombie killer and playing Minecraft. That's mainly what I've been playing lately. Mainly Minecraft. And when I get to stream, it's lately been cooking. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Love you.
Say bye, everybody.
Say bye, mouse.
Bye. No.
Good job.
Good job. Bye-bye. That be the 2-year-old. All right, well, let's get started here. Let's see. Oh, little one and pretty one. I don't think she heard me. I'll tell her when she gets back. All right, so we're going to start out with the smoked mac and cheese because it takes the longest to cook on the smoker. We need to make sure we can see the smoker. Connect to it, and I'm going to go turn her laptop off. They were listening to, it was either Ryan's World or Coco Melon or Baby Bus or something. Cool. So I'm going to get this started. Indian curry. Well, that'd be easier than flying all the way to Texas. Just saying. 7 minutes, 2/3 of a minute. Okay, it's only like 4 minutes we need to cook that for. So I'm gonna hold off on putting that in. We need to make the bechamel to go over this. 4 ounces of flour in the pot. Melt with a 1/4 cup of flour. 4 ounces of butter in the pot. Switch over to the stove top. I got the butter out. I think that's about half a stick if I remember right. Each stick is 8 ounces. I'm personally not big on curries. 1/4 cup's a 1/2 cup. We don't need that. We probably just need about that much. 1/4 cup of flour will be next. Get that melting. So I've made the smoked mac and cheese before. I have actually never made the sour cream lasagna before. And I have made the Coco sticks a total of 1 time. And that was last night because, well, the 16-year-old wanted some. Which was the only reason why I made them. Literally the only reason why I made them. Well, that and to actually test the recipe a little bit. Since I had never made them, my mom used to make them all the time growing up. It is my mother's recipe. I am going to have to rig up a way to see chat over at the stove, because unfortunately I can't do that right now. So let's get the cell phone out and let's launch the Twitch app. Can I go to that one? There we go. Where's chat? Chat's on the bottom. All right, cool. All right, we got melted butter in the pot. Throw in our flour. We're looking for a roux. We're going to turn this down. I don't want to burn the roux because then I have to wash it and start over. We're going to give that a moment to cook. This comes together really fast. I'm going to need that again. And I probably need to get the smoker going because I haven't turned on the smoker yet. Come on. Connected. We're going to go to grill. There it goes. All right. There we go. Smoker's on. Gotta love Wi-Fi enabled stuff. So I'm actually cooking, my grill part is a smoker, is actually a Green Mountain grill. This one. I need a 1/2 cup of milk. It calls for whole milk. I use 2% because that's what we keep in the house. I need this. And it calls for 2 cans of evaporated milk. Not condensed, but evaporated. So we're going to pour those in first to scald the pot. Turn that back up on high. Put the milk in. We're going to need that, I think, again. And I didn't set the trash can out this time. And then we're going to mixy mix, make sure this roux dissolves. We ran out of mustard in this house. I don't know how, but we did. So I got brand new fresh mustard yesterday at the store. Because, you know, it happens. And then I need to scroll down my instructions because I don't remember everything. Melt in buttermilk, stir the flour, cook begins to golden, add the milk and whisk well. Cook until thickened. Add the seed. Okay, so we gotta let that boil. Let this come up to a boil. We're gonna put the heat back underneath it because I turned it all the way down. We only need to cook the pasta about 70 minutes. The instructions say their box said 8. They did it for 5.5. I've only got to cook the pasta for like 4 minutes. Because it wants it 2/3 of the way done. So I figure about 4-ish minutes, give or take. Looking to make sure the smoker has ignited. It has. We got good smoke rolling off the top of that thing. I'm going to switch, go back. I want 350. The one nice thing about pellet grills, you can dial the temperature in. If I tell it I want 350 degrees, I get 350. And then for this dish, we do this the easy way. We use aluminum foil pans for this one. Always make sure to get your gummy stuff out of the bottom of the pan if it's still there. I'm going to add a little bit more water to the pasta because I boiled out part of it. And I do kind of believe if you're not going to drink it, don't cook with it. Granted, the first round I did come out of the tap, but I'm gonna put a little bit of this in. That's cold water, so it's gonna slow that down a little bit. It's okay, it'll bounce back pretty quick. Seasonings we need to put together. Garlic powder, salt, pepper, yellow mustard. Pretty simple. What do we need? A teaspoon of mustard. I'm going to use these because they're easier. Except my teaspoon measure is missing. Sometimes I love my kid. They take the measuring spoons apart and then part of them begin missing. Here's a teaspoon. I do like stuff a little heavier on the garlic, so the recipe calls for half a teaspoon. I'm gonna put a whole teaspoon. We got regular smoke coming out of the smoker. I know y'all can't see that because I got the camera kind of focused on the smoker box versus where you can see the smokestack. I've got to figure out a better way. That camera is actually the one that I use to put over top of my Blackstone grill. And I basically just turned it around, moved the angle a little bit, and hey, it worked. So that's what I went with. Because smoking, that's a long cook. And while I can, if I'm gonna do a really long cook, I'll get it started, we'll go play a game while it's smoking type deal. But today we're using it more as an oven, which the pellet grills are really good at. And I like it for that fact. Do I want a stick burner? Yes. Do I have access to a stick burner? Multiple. Can I get the stick burner into my backyard? Not a chance. The only way to move it is with a front end loader because it's not on a trailer or anything. All right, we've attained boilage. We're gonna mix this because I can feel the bottom of the pot. We're gonna turn this down a hair. Stove top. While these pots are nice, they become a little bit, the pans or the pot becomes a little bit warm with the handles. I'm gonna let that boil for just a moment longer. And we're gonna get ready to put some of this other stuff in. Let's see, I've made this a couple times in the past. So I'm going to do a little bit of tweak to the recipe this time. I'm actually going to add in, because I like it, a little cayenne pepper. Not so much that you can get the heat from it, just a little bit of the flavor comes into the play. And this calls for how much cheese in the bag? Calls for 1 pound of shredded Monterey Jack. So I've got a 2-pound bag. I like my mac and cheese cheesy. This is almost ready. We're going to open this up. Pasta in. And I forgot to salt the water. I like to salt my water. I don't put oil in the water. I just salt it. Give it a mixy mix. Set that to the side. We're going to kill the heat on this mixture because it's starting to thicken. Now it says a teaspoon of garlic, half a teaspoon of garlic. I like the flavor of the garlic. It's good for the heart. We're using garlic powder, not fresh garlic, so need a little bit more in my opinion. I like paprika. Give it a little red, but we're not putting a lot. And I like some cayenne pepper. Again, not enough to really taste. And then we're going to mix. And then we need a teaspoon of yellow mustard. If you don't like mustard, that's okay. You're not going to taste the mustard. It's only there for flavor. And you're not even going to taste it in the end. You don't taste the mustard in it. I've got people in my family that do not like mustard. They love the mac and cheese. It's the turmeric part of it. We got 1:40 left on the pasta. Yeah, the spicy brown mustard. That I do like. I like that also. However, in this dish, that would not work. Just in this particular dish, it would not work. And we may cook this pasta a little bit longer. All right. We want about half of the bag of cheese. So this does not become a grease slick. I'm going to put in a couple handfuls. Give it a mixy mix. Some spicy brown mustard on some Scotch eggs with some HP sauce any day of the week. And maybe one day I'll get brave enough and try and cook some Scotch eggs. Let's check on our smoker temp. Give me another minute on that timer. We're at 313 on the smoker. I've got about half of the bag marked with my hand. As you can see, I kind of put my hand right there to mark half the bag. Now, there's one part it doesn't call for, and that's the other pound of that cheese. I call for it though. All right, with that, we're going to pull the pasta, and I'm going to drain it. And thankfully, the mother-in-law, the wife are out of the house right now because I'm just going to carry the pasta across the floor. Because we're making lasagna too, which means I need more pasta cooked. Let's go to the board. There's that close-up of that sauce. What we're going to do, we're going to just put all this sauce right on top. If you got a little burn bits, that's okay. Try and pick them out. Try not to scrape the bottom. We got a little bit of burn on the bottom of this pot. I had it on the high heat burner. It'd be okay. First thing I am going to do before I do anything else, I'm going to put water in that pot so it's easier to clean up. Now, get back on there. That wasn't on the floor. We're going to mix this up. Give it the mixy mix. And I am really personally not one for a baked mac and cheese, but I love smoked mac and cheese. Alright, now we'll get another pound of cheese in this bag. I want some extra gooey, ooey goodness, but I didn't want it to melt fully. So I'm going to mix this part in. And you could make the same mac and cheese. Instead of putting it in the smoker, you could put it in the oven. It's just a baked mac and cheese recipe that you cook in a smoker. It's the only difference. And yes, I did wash my hands before we started today. Don't worry. All right, that's kind of in there. That was about a ½ pound, I would assume. Yes. Get off my spatula. Oops, there's another pound of cheese on top. We're just going to lay that on there. There's no breadcrumbs on this. None of that stuff. That is it. All right, we're going to switch over to... I don't have one that has smoker on it. So I'm going to go to cooking. We have the smoker there. I don't have the smoker on the cutting board just because it takes up so much room. Just so y'all can see it when I open it. And I'm gonna go slide this guy into the smoker. And let me tell you, that pan, it's nice and hot on the bottom. All right, mac and cheese is on. And that's going to take about probably 45 minutes to an hour to cook. I think it's what the instructions call for. That mac and cheese ain't going to be right. I forgot 2 ingredients. Forgot the salt and the pepper. Too late now. 350 for 45 minutes. All right. Next recipe we're going to do is actually my grandmother's, and it is called sour cream lasagna. So a smoker is a barbecue. Barbecues come to mean multiple different things. When you smoke something, you're cooking it low and slow. When you cook high and fast, you're grilling. To me, barbecue is low and slow, and only low and slow. There are people that will say we're going to barbecue steaks, and they're talking about grilling them. That's not low and slow. That is high and fast over direct heat, plus 300, plus anything above like 300 is going to be grilling. There are times when I've had to turn my barbecue because I have a pellet grill that can also function as a smoker. It is wood fired, it's fired by wood pellets. And there's times I've had to turn it up to get a piece of meat to finish. Do I like doing that? No. Because I don't think it comes out correctly. It sacrifices the meat a little bit it sacrifices the tenderness of the meat, especially if you're doing like a brisket. So it calls for a chopped onion. For me, I do my barbecue when I cook the chicken and the ribs. I'm going to put them on at 225 degrees, and we're going to let them go for probably at least 4 hours. They're going to be at least 4-hour cook. It is going to be low and slow. I've heard people, I mean, you can do some barbecue in a Weber kettle. The key is keeping the temperature down. So while the term is used interchangeably, to me, they are different. I guess it's the long way of saying that. We are going to, so I'm not a big person. I don't like big pieces of onion in my food at all. So we're going to chop these up. I have never liked big pieces of onion. And my knife skills probably aren't the best. but I was also never formally trained. I'm not a chef, I'm an IT guy. Where'd I learn to cook? My grandmother's, my great-grandmother's, my grandfather's. I watched them cook. That's the root end. I try and not peel the outer thickest most sleeve, but well, most of the time it ends up coming off anyway. Whoops. Mouse, you distracted me with the question. I forgot to switch the scene so you could see what I was doing. We may end up with enough time. Ah, you're okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm just giving you a hard time. That's all. This should be okay. Oh, I know. I do it all the time. I think I just heard that water boil over. The recipe calls for half an onion. I'm gonna do a little bit more onion than that. I also grabbed a smaller onion to cook with. I need to add some more water to that pot. I mean, typically I have a whole 2 scenes I switch between. You know, gaming and chatting. We'll put the spurs back to that one. All right. I'm going to run my knife through these just to make sure they're good. There we go. Grab us a bowl. Yeah, because I'm cooking in cast. I'm going to heat the cast iron up before I put that in there. I don't need a big bowl. The wife's going to tell me I'm going to have to sweep the floor. She cleaned it yesterday, knowing that I was going to cook today. And that I typically will spill stuff on the floor. Oh well. Not a big deal. Alright, so we got our onions. What else do we need? We need tomatoes and tomato paste opened up. You can hear the dog, she don't like it. So I got Italian style diced tomatoes to put in this. We're gonna go ahead and put the pan on the heat. And instructions for the noodles. We'll uncover for 8 minutes, stirring occasionally. Drain, sit down. All right, so this time, since I'm not using the pasta water after this one, I'm gonna pull the colander out that I've got in it. I'm gonna set. That's where I'll drain the water. All right, that should heat up. That'll be enough water for this cook. All right, we need these and one of these. Get the stuff set up because I hadn't pulled utensils out for this one. That's ready, that's ready. All right. I need to find a couple more ingredients here. I need oregano and sugar. Okay, that's kind of interesting. The sugar part is. To counteract some of the acid from the tomato. Got the sugar. And oregano is right here. Got garlic powder. We'll cut the mozzarella in a few moments. I don't want to cut it yet. 30 minutes. Simmer, uncover. Well, we gotta cook the sauce for 30 minutes. Repeat layer, sprinkle of parm, bake in moderate oven 350 until bubbly and golden brown. 35 to 40. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna get another small dish. I'm gonna put all the seasonings in it so I can go ahead and measure them out ahead of time so I don't forget one. Where'd I put the garlic? Garlic, oregano, salt and pepper. And I'm going to say that I'm going to prepare my ground beef the way I normally prepare my ground beef. I tend to cook it a little bit extra. I'll cook it and season it like I normally would. Maybe a little bit lighter seasoning than I normally would, but I'm going to season it pretty much like I normally would. I like a little bit of extra garlic. And calls for half a teaspoon of oregano. And as we know, oregano can be very powerful. So we're just going to do a heaping half a teaspoon. And then it calls for a teaspoon of sugar. Now, when my aunt originally typed these recipes into the first edition of the family cookbook, I don't know if she used the lowercase t all the time or if she used an uppercase T some of the time. I'm hoping it's an uppercase T some of the time. All right, there we go. And then it calls for a teaspoon of salt. That's a teaspoon. And it calls for half a teaspoon of black pepper. All right, that's a half. And if I'm a little short, that's fine. I'm gonna put some on the meat when it's cooking. Because I believe you need to season ground beef as it cooks. All right, let's get this meat cooking. Water's coming back to a boil, but it only needs 8 minutes. And this needs 30 minutes to simmer. Our pan is hot. Put the mustard away because we're done with it. Add a little bit of oil. Now last year we went in on a half a cow or a quarter of a cow. And we're still using that ground beef. Get that pan cooled off. There's some moisture on the outside of this packaging. Stovetop, there we go. Hit the wrong button. Yep, you can see everything. Okay, cool. So this pan is pretty much maxed at 2 pounds of meat. And I'm doing my best not to hit the camera. All right, that's a cooking. We're gonna give it some garlic. Some S. And some pepper. And I said I'm gonna season it like I season everything. Some paprika. Some cayenne pepper. And then some Worcestershire sauce. Because every ground beef recipe I know, I always add a little bit of that too. It gives a little bit more depth of flavor and taste to it. It just brings out that ooey goodness. Just the way I could say it. Turn the burner back up because the pan's cooled down now. And this may be a little bit too much meat for this pan. It's gonna try and stew, which means I'm gonna need to cook the meat a little bit longer. That's okay. A lot of people say drain the fat. I do not drain the fat on my beef. Most of the time. If there's a lot of fat in the pan, yeah, I'll drain it. Hello, Allie. How are you doing? I totally goofed up a second time. I forgot to put the salt and pepper in the mac and cheese. When I put onions in my ground beef, I put them in at the start. And I tend to cook them down. Like get some of that caramelization on them. And I mean, technically, my mac and cheese was from a box. Surviving. Is it warm out there? Yes, I understand about the school being done. I saw your message this morning. Get that chopped up a little bit. There we go. Ooh, that's a bad piece right there. We're gonna take that piece out. It's 55 down here right now. All right, there we go. That's a bunch of water. We're gonna turn that up. We're gonna let that boil off. And I know people are gonna yell at this part, but they say if you're looking, you're not cooking. But since you just got here, Allie, there's that ooey gooey, bubbly goodness of smoked mac and cheese. In the complete instant half it. Oh. Unfortunately, I left the salt and pepper out. This time I forgot to put the onions in at the start versus later on, because I like to brown the onions a little bit, get some caramelization on them. I'm going to take a moment while that's cooking, getting the water out of that pot, out of that pan, to put a couple things away that I'm not going to need. And get out some stuff I am going to need. Taking a 0 and you still end up with a 95. That must be nice. I think I always had to do my lessons in school, but some of them I would just half-ass, honestly. Put that one in there. That one's got a crack in it. That's better. Got 2 eggs. Getting the stuff out for the Coco sticks. I'm trying to decide if I want to cook them inside or if I want to put them on the smoker. I think I'm going to do them inside, but I'm not starting the oven yet. The oven heats up pretty quick, which in turn heats the house up. And me running around cooking, I'm fixing to turn the AC down some more. That's true. That is very true. There were a couple nights I just didn't want to go to class, so I didn't. And give me 1 second, guys. I need to take this phone call. So we are getting a back patio put in, and that was the guy who's putting it in for us calling me and go, hey, we're going to come over and set form boards. Oh, okay. So give me about 2 or 3 minutes. I will be right back while that's cooking. I'm not going to throw up the clip show. I'm going to just, you know, give you the ASMR of that. Well, no ASMR on that one because I don't have any of the camera mics turned on. But I'm going to give this a stir. A lot of that is grease. I'm probably going to be draining this hamburger down, taking some of the fat out of the pan. I forgot how greasy this hamburger was. Yeah, a lot of that's grease. So I'm going to let that cook for just a few minutes and I will be right back. Got to run, let's get done, need to tend to it. All right, Allie, have a good day. I will catch you later. Mouse, I will be right back. All right, I am back. That's how quick it took me. And it feels so nice outside right now. Okay, we got a lot of that. A lot of that cooked out. I'm gonna go in with it just like that. I'm gonna go just like it is. I'm not gonna add other stuff to it. Calls for 1 can of tomato paste. It did not say how big of a can, but it called for 1 can, so I'm 1 can. Thinned with 1 can of water. Now I kind of want to get this in there. Let it start mixing up a little bit here. And it calls for 1 can of tomatoes. So I got diced Italian style tomatoes. Turn the heat down a little. Typically, I do try and not cook tomato things in my cast iron. Solely because it's a pain to clean up. It's just a lot harder to clean up. That's the middle core part of the tomato. That'll never get good. You get some of those in the pans. That's fine. Take out a couple of them. My goal here is to get everything off the sides, get everything mixed together really good. Did that peel? No, okay. And sometimes you do get a little bit of peel. All right. We're gonna let that cook now. Psycho, how you doing today? Did your clip play by chance? Well, there's 2 different sizes of cans of tomato paste. There's the small can, little bitty small cans, and then there's the bigger can. That's why. It's a lot harder to see the chat over at the stove. Well, mainly because the chat that's supposed to be at the stove is on my phone laying on the counter over here. We need to add our ingredients, our seasonings. We did kind of pre-season a little bit on the hamburger just because I don't like biting in the hamburger and it being plain. I like when I bite into hamburger, it's seasoned all the way through. There we go. Getting the mixy mix on here. All right. Whew. It is warm, at least in this kitchen right now. How have you been, Psycho? So that needs to simmer. It says for 30 minutes. We're not going to wait 30 minutes. We're not. I'm going to let that simmer probably 15 to 20 minutes because I got people to feed coming up at about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and it needs about 30 minutes in the smoker itself. So, that being said, we need to get the sour cream out. We need to get the mozzarella out. The Parmigiano Reggiano. And then we got two bonus items that we're going to cook. After everything comes off, I'm going to turn the smoker down to 225 and I'm going to slap on a rack of baby back ribs and a whole chicken and let that cook until either I run out of pellets or it's done, because I thought I had another bag of pellets and I don't. So, that being said, I'm going to cut that open, grab me a cutting board because I don't want to do that on wood. Grab me my cheese knife and give this a mixing mix. A little stir up here. And probably turn the heat down a hair. If any of y'all want the recipe, please let me know for the sour cream lasagna, the Coco sticks. Trying to get those tomatoes to kind of break down a little bit before we go into the oven with it, or into the smoker. There's my cheese knife. So we're using fresh mozzarella. Because why do you want to use the old stuff? I mean the other stuff. And it says to cut it into thin circles, basically. There we go. Come on, go up. My hand's wet. I can't move the instructions. There we go. Thin slices. Calls for a 1/4 pound. We're going to be putting on more cheese than that. Because cheese is goodness. This may already be cut. We may have it easier. Hey, look. It's already cut. I don't have to cut it. I just need to pull it apart. All right, Mouse, you have a good supper, sir. And we will catch you later. I hope I at least made you a little bit hungry. There's that. And now it calls for a 1/4 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano, of grated Parmesan cheese. She probably used the stuff out of the can. All right, Mouse. You want to see the other pictures I've been taking of stuff I've been cooking at here that I haven't been posting everywhere? They're on my Discord most of the time. Or they're on my Instagram. I don't post them to Twitter now all the time, but I may. And the Instagram link is down below, or it's the BLFH. It's my screen name, so. I don't have a 1/4 cup measure in that one. That 1/4 cup measure has gone missing. What is that one? Unknown. Because it rubbed off. That's a half. That's probably a 1/3. So we have 1/4 cups in this one. That's a 1/3. Guess what? 1/3 is a little bit bigger than 1/4, right? We're just gonna eyeball it. Hey, look. My 1/4 cup measure. It came back. I'm the nutcase that took it off. We're probably gonna need more than that cheese right there. Just honestly, we're gonna need more. That's not enough. A 1/4 cup maybe per layer. All right, we're gonna turn that down. Turn that up. Let's get this. So all right, as soon as the water's out, it's back at a boil. make it a little cooler in here. Because I don't know about y'all, but I'm hot. Water obtained boilage. Water has obtained boilage. Since we changed out our water amounts, we're going to add some salt. They say pasta water should taste like the sea. So I'm make it taste like the sea. All right, that's going to go all the way to low. I don't really want that to lose any more water. So I'm going to cover it. I'm gonna leave y'all there. I'm gonna walk out to the garage because the wife made me move all my cast iron. And I had to put it in the garage. And well, wouldn't you know, I need a lid. And I do have that I could use that's on the top, but it doesn't have the little nubbins on it. This is not the cleanest, but it works. So those little nubbins right there will condensate the steam on them. I need to set a timer for 6 minutes. We'll do 7. Timer set. Okay. So we're going to get the lasagna pan ready. And I'll say it again, if you use the aluminum pans, make sure you don't leave the little stickies in there. There's that. We need some more room. I don't need this anymore. I need that. I don't need this anymore. That's done. That's the cheese. Put the oregano up. There we go. Get that little mixy mix. We're definitely done with the garlic because that ain't going in Coco sticks. However, it may end up on top of the chicken and the ribs. We need a pan pot holder. Alright, that's good, that's good, that's good. Pasta will go to there. Alright, cool, we're all set. I'm not one to try and hold on to hot pasta. So we'll use tongs. Let's go check on this mac and cheese. We got a few moments before it's all ready. That's cooking. The dogs are barking because, well, there's people in the backyard and she don't like it. Oh, there's my aunt here too. That's okay. She got out of church early, so she's here. She told me it might be 1 o'clock before she gets here.
Yes.
Oh. All right, good. The dog stopped barking now. We got 3 minutes. I say she stops barking, and what she do? Starts barking again. Where'd my cup holders go? There we go. All right, we're gonna get the oven on. And we discovered last night that my oven is about 25 degrees off of 350. To get 350, I need to set the oven at 375. So, there we go. That's what we do. Give this a mix. Pull that back. And I know it says to cook the sauce uncovered, but there's not a lot of stuff left in there, sauce-wise. Not a lot of liquid. I want a little bit of liquid in this because it's going in the smoker. It's going to cook for a while. That's my main reason for wanting that liquid in there. All right, give me one moment here. I'm going to step outside. The guys in the backyard that are putting together the back porch for us, and I will be right back. Immediately we put that concrete on. Damn it. I had it supported. That fire spitter has to go. He gets you. What the hell killed me? What hit me? Immediately we put that concrete on. Damn it. I had it supported. Let's get it. Let's get it down there. Go, 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 go. Ah. There we go. There we go. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. See the replay of that. I'm dead. knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. All right, there we go. Sorry about that quick switch coming back. I didn't know which scene I needed to be on. We've gotten, pasta should be done. There we go, yeah, pasta's done. I'm gonna kill it. Turn that off. Shut the timer off. Give this a mixy mix. Put that on the back of the stove. Touch the pot and burn myself. It's all part of the cooking game, right? All right. Let's get the pasta water drained. Cast iron pan over here with the food in it. Back to the cutting board. Well, let's put lasagna together for the first time. Now this recipe calls for 1 cup of sour cream. I'm going to be as close to that 1 cup as I can. I got 16 ounces. How many ounces to a cup? So I got half a container I can use. We might use some more than that. Just saying. Never know. In a greased casserole dish, we're not using grease. Actually, spray it with butter. Butter. All right, it's been greased. That's how I grease it. That's the easiest way to grease it. Spray it down. In a greased casserole dish, layer a hefty amount of meat sauce, lasagna noodle, and half the cream Mont's cheese. Repeat, rinse and repeat. All right, so we need to layer some of the sauce on the bottom. I don't know how well this will work, but I need to find a lasagna recipe with a white sauce. An Alfredo based lasagna. I don't like tomatillas. I don't like them. All right, now we're going to pull our pasta, which is still a little bit warm, maybe a little bit to the al dente side, which is fine because we're going to be cooking some more. Whoops. We're down 1 pasta strip. I'm not getting that one back. It went into the wrong sink. It went into the dirty sink. sour cream, then Mott's, then repeat. So we have noodles. Now we need the sour cream. So the sour cream kind of replaces the ricotta cheese, is what it's doing, the ricotta cheese mixture. I don't think I ever had this made by my grandmother, but my aunt says it's good. So we're gonna go with it. And I'm probably pretty sure that ricotta is cheaper, or sour cream is a lot cheaper than ricotta. So there we go. That's why it was made out of necessity. The town I grew up in, none of the grocery stores kept ricotta cheese. That's not the normal cheese. They didn't keep the specialty stuff. That's small town living. So this is good old country food, home cooking. Is what we got here. Oven's ready. Next we're gonna make cocoa sticks. I'm gonna do them in the oven, not in the smoker. I'm kind of leery about putting my glass pan in the smoker also. So that's one of the others, and I don't have a aluminum pan to put in the smoker for the cocoa sticks. I want to try them one day out of the smoker. But I don't have the dish currently. I mean, cookies taste really good out of a smoker, believe it or not. Chocolate chip cookies. And I have a bag of chocolate chip cookie mix. We're gonna need more sour cream. She may have done it differently, but I just put 16 ounces of sour cream in this thing so far. And I know we have some more in the fridge, and I may go get it. I'll put that there. Top it with mozzarella. There we go. That's all the mozzarella, so that's gonna be the last layer. I only probably needed about a half a box of noodles. That's okay. I'd rather have too many than not enough, especially on the first time of cooking. Now we're going to top it with meat mixture. Very thin like. I'm glad I used 2 pounds of meat versus the 1.5 that it called for. Get that cast iron scraped clean. And now it calls for a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And what she probably used was the stuff in the container. I got grated Parmigiano Reggiano. It's got some shred in it. But for the most part, it's like this. All right. There we go. We're gonna go slap this on the smoker. All right, smoker view is up. That mac and cheese is ready to come out. I need to get a come out pan because I can't pick the mac and cheese up, it'll collapse. All right, here we go. There is the mac and cheese. I'll cut you a piece. I'm gonna cut me some first though. Now, I forgot the salt and pepper. Yeah. It goes in the bechamel. So we're gonna add a little salt and pepper to it. Let me get this cast iron pan out of the way. Stove top that. Give us a dish. A fork. And a spoon. Set a timer for 30 minutes. Get a little bit tough around the edge, but that's okay. That's okay. That's just where that cheese kind of solidified. That's hot and good. And it didn't need the salt and pepper. I love my salt. I don't miss it one bit. We're going to save the rest of the Parmesan cheese for later. And I am going to grab some aluminum foil to keep that warm. I'm just going to leave the spoon in it. What's the verdict? No. No. So my aunt says it's no good, I can't serve it. Which in my family means don't let it out of your sight or somebody's going to eat it all. Alright, that's out of the way, that's out of the way. Sour cream, we didn't need to add any more. I'm going to adjust that recipe to 16 ounces of sour cream. Well, the recipe serves 6 to 8. I like more sour cream though too. I like it. Yeah. All right, next we're going to make some cocoa sticks. Cocoa stick making, next one, melt butter. So I got my butter in the pan that I'm going to cook it in. Into the oven it goes at 350. You do not grease the pan. You do not do anything else. It's very, very simple recipe. And it is very easily doubled. My mother used to make this at least 4 nights out of the week. Pretty much every other day. These would go to lunch with, go to work with my dad, and people would steal them out of his box. So we start with 1 cup of sugar. One full cup of sugar. And then we need half a cup of flour. Half a cup of flour. There was something a little bit off when I made the batch I made last night. And the cocoa doesn't expire, doesn't show a bad date until the end of 2022. However, it's just this off taste, and that cocoa's been open for a really long time. It's beeping at me. It's not that. Three tablespoons of cocoa powder. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to use fresh cocoa powder today. Our vanilla is also probably a little bit old. Maybe I got too much vanilla in it or something. In the recipe, it calls for vanilla. It doesn't tell me how much. So, about that much. Teaspoon or however much I just put in the pot. Because you don't eat people food. And then it calls for a pinch of salt. That's a pinch. Calls for 2 eggs. One egg. 2 eggs. That's all we do. I'm going to break the yolks. We don't mix it yet. We're going to check the oven. See if this butter's melted. It's almost melted. So with this dish, rule of thumb is do not overmix. That's one of the rules. The other rule is do not overcook. So to not overcook, it's a brownie. Cocoa sticks are a brownie, but you don't want to overmix it. Because if you overmix it, it gets tough, it gets hard. Too much gluten forms. If you overbake it, and you bake all the butter out of it, you bake all the goodness out. So that's where we're at on that part. Which is cool. Which is cool. I mean, it's good. All right, we got just a few minutes for that butter to finish up. I am still on my first glass of tea. I won't be much longer though. So chat, how are y'all doing today? Put this window back where it's supposed to be. There we go. We've got the mac and cheese cooked. The lasagna is in the smoker / grill / oven's what we're using it for today. We're going to use the oven in the house for the cocoa sticks just because my aunt didn't want to try them out of the smoker the first time around. And to be honest, I want to make sure they come out good again. And I don't trust putting my glass dish in a 350-degree grill where I'm not exactly sure what the temperature is all the way across that grill. I know where my hot spot is. I know where my cool spot is, and I know where the good spot is. So it's almost melted. While that's finishing to melt, I'm gonna get out a couple other pans. Don't want to use those. That can be for the chicken. This can be for the ribs. Because the chicken and the ribs will go on after the lasagna is done and after the temperature comes down. So we're going to try some different rubs today. We've got a poultry rub and a rack attack meat rub. I haven't used them before, don't know what they taste like. They were a Christmas present. Ooh, that one's good. The shed. Brenda. My other aunt got them for me. Ooh. That one's pretty good. You did. They're in the very top though. I can't reach them. This is the poultry with brown sugar, garlic, and onion. The other one's brown sugar, chilies, paprika, and garlic. So we're going to try those on the ribs and on the chicken today. That butter's now melted. Where's my oven mitt? There it is. I keep losing my oven mitts. kind of give this a little swirl around. We dump that in the bowl. Put that up there. Try not to burn ourselves. And do a very simple mix. I know what that chirp is. I got a smoke detector with battery going dead. No, that was a smoke detector chirping. No, they're not. My watch didn't vibrate. Trying to get all the flour to disappear. That's it. That's all the mix. I know there's lumps. That's okay. Lumps will work their way out as we cook. Let's get this spread out in the dish. That goes in there. This goes back into a 350-degree oven. The instructions say till it's done. I called my mother and asked her, how long do you cook it? She said until it springs back, it's done, which is going to be about 18 to 20 minutes. I got 15 minutes on the outside cook. So we'll add 5 minutes to that timer once it goes off. Now we have to get ready to cook. That's Andy. And probably Evie. That's Ernie. We have a rack of ribs. And we have a whole chicken. Hold on, let me shut the dog up. All right, maybe that dog will quit barking now. No, she's not. We know it. They took the short to work, which they should be getting back almost any time. I told Andy she could leave the younger two here, but they didn't get out the door. And they got caught. So those are baby back ribs. And then we have, what I'm doing is I'm opening these over a sink so I can drain all the juice out that's in the package. And being that today's daylight savings time, I need to go change all the batteries and all the smoke detectors and, well, put up the ones that got taken down recently. All right, there we go. Wash my hands. That dog is very annoying, I know. She probably wants to get out of the crate, but I don't want to deal with her. So we're going to pat this dry. And now we're going to pat dry the chicken. New paper towels. I personally don't want to get food poisoning. I don't want to get salmonella. Where do you get that from the easiest? Poultry. Reason I pat it dry, it helps the rub adhere. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. I had to go let the dog out. She had to go to the bathroom. That's what I'm going for, because she just would not stop barking. All right, we get our temperature probes for the grill. And now we're going to put down the rub. We're going to do pork first. And do we have silver skin? Looks like the silver skin is still on here. Yeah, it's still on here for sure. So if you don't know this, on meat there's silver skin, which is like a tendon. It never dissolves. It becomes tough. You can't eat it. It's basically like a sinew, and you need to pull it off of the food. There we go. Get this up. They don't do this at the meat packers because it would cost money. And then they don't get to charge you for the weight when you buy it, even though it's waste. All right, there we go. Silver skin's off. So we're going to season all sides very liberally. Because even though you're not eating part of back here at the bone end, you still want to season it. You want to season the top edge of your brisket or your ribs. You get everything covered in rub because that's what makes it good. I do live in Texas. Brisket is king down here. My wife likes ribs. I do not. Well, my aunt likes ribs too, evidently. I do not. If I eat ribs, I only eat ribs at like 2 places. If I go out, that's it. All right, that is ready for the smoker. But the smoker is running too hot right now because we got stuff in there baking. So we're just going to set this to the side for the time being. And then we're going to put this chicken up here. Yeah, that's definitely true, Arden. Brisket was king until you had to take a loan out to buy it. Choose brisket. Pretty much. My aunt says if she has to choose between gas and brisket, she's going to walk and go get the brisket. All right, here we go. Now we're going to rub a chicken. How are you doing today, Arden? What you having for lunch? You got anything good cooking? That's trash. That's the neck. I don't keep neck bones. I don't keep necks, raw meat and stuff like that. There's the giblets. Don't eat those. Yeah. A good brisket, you're going to pay top dollar now, for definitely sure. Smoked pork loin. I looked at those at the store yesterday, but they didn't have any of them that were not pre-seasoned. And I wanted one that was not pre-seasoned. Or AKA wet packed. And I was just at the local Brookshire's grocery store. I didn't go to the other town and go get me one from Market Street or somewhere else, and I wasn't going to go to Walmart. Well, these are going on after the lasagna comes out of the oven, and I'm going to drop the temp once I open the timer goes off. I'm going to drop the temp on the smoker, and they'll be ready to go in. Kind of want that rub to sit for a minute, permeate, and so forth. That's everything. I need to text the wife and tell her to get home because we about to eat. Take a peek at the Coco sticks. So we've got it done. All right, Larton. All right, Arton, you have a good day. Go back working on those strings. Go back to digging that trench. I am tired after that. I'm hungry too. My aunt's over laid up underneath the blanket because I got the air conditioner on 66 right now because I'm hot. We got 2 minutes left. I'm gonna go peek at it real quick on the. Bubbly. I'm gonna pull it. I think it's ready. So I'm gonna add 7 minutes to the timer. And that's for the cocoa sticks. Uh, 225. We're going down to 225 on the smoker. I know it's at 350 right now. I know I'm gonna put this meat in there and it's gonna be hotter than what I want. It's okay, it'll cool off, especially when I open this lid and it drops temperatures. So let's go get this food out. There we go. That be the foods. That be the lasagna. I'm gonna turn my camera off. And I'm gonna go throw this rack on and this chicken on real quick. I'll grab my temperature gauges, my temperature probes. I'm working as quick as I can to get these probes in. Number one. Number two, lid down. And that smoker dropped to 271. I'm okay with that. I think one of my probes went all the way through because it's showing 249 degrees. I know there's no meat in that smoker at 249. With that being said, guys, let me fix a plate real quick. The only other thing we're gonna have is a salad with it. And I'm assuming everybody knows how to make salad. So I'm not gonna do that part online, on stream. Because I have people that like their salad made a special way. Kind of want this to set a little bit more. I think it needs some more Parmesan on top. And we'll see how good this is. With that being said, there will be pictures up on the Instagram. They'll be posted also in the Discord server. There'll be probably a picture on Twitter. Like plate at least. I may take a couple pictures of the finished products here. And we're gonna eat because I haven't had breakfast and I'm hungry.